Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of the Cosmic Egg. That's right, 5th episode, 5 big fingers. Give us a big hand, form a fist, shove it up your ass. Hey, now that we collect nothing but audio, I've got a rare audio clip to play for you today. Very rare indeed. All the way from Europe, people. All the way from Europe. We have a rare clip of Queen Elizabeth II falling down a flight of stairs. That's right, falling down a flight of stairs. We don't have all the details that we'd like. For instance, we don't know where this recording took place, whether it was at Buckingham Palace or someplace else. All we know is the Queen is at the top of a flight of stairs. She's about to step down. She's waving to some people below and missteps and falls down a flight of stairs. And that's about all we know. So, without further ado, Queen Elizabeth II falling down a flight of stairs. Let's have a listen. Hi, this is Mike calling. I won't be able to make it into work today. I was caught in a landslide. Okay, and this week we're going to be looking at something a little different, the topic of bikes and pedestrian safety. I don't know about you, but I ride a bike all year round. I ride during all 4 seasons. So I know bikes in all sorts of weather conditions. I've had a few doozy accidents myself. I've had an umbrella go right into my front spokes while I was going down a hill at top speed. That was beautiful. It slapped me like a pancake right off the road. Fractured my humerus in 2 spots. It was hilarious. What else? So I had a car nearly run me over because he was looking the other way and was going to drive right over me. That was during the winter too, so that was iffy because there was some snow on the road. So of course I had to do a quick turn, and of course so that ends me up on the ground. I slid right past the car, almost under it. So that was pretty scary because he wouldn't have seen me, and he never did see me. He actually just drove off into the sunset. So that was pretty wild. It seems to me that there's way too many pedestrians and cyclists being hit. And there's way too many people I see that are just, no offense, but they're dangerous drivers and they're dangerous pedestrians too. For instance, let's go for a walk. Let's say you're walking down the street. To your left is a roadway. Cars are going the same way you are. They're coming up from behind you, and you're walking down the sidewalk. And you come up across you got your head down. You're kind of checking out your phone. You look up, and there's the walk sign right in front of you. What a stroke of luck! The walk sign. You're right at the corner, and there's the walk sign already ready for you. So you just walk right out, and you'll go ahead, right? Well, that's actually wrong. That's one of the many mistakes people make. Just because you see a walk sign doesn't mean it's okay to walk. And too many people just jump right under the street and just start walking, when in fact, they're supposed to stop and turn and look behind and to their left, over their left shoulder for people who are turning right, who may not have seen them. They're going to turn right and run right over them because they're not going to have time to stop. It's going to be kind of an instantaneous thing. And I think most accidents happen that way, just through blindness that way, sort of ignorance of not checking all around you and stopping and checking all around you. I always say behind and to the left. That's the most important one, behind and to the left. And of course, this goes for cyclists as well as pedestrians. And And it's just the major cause, I think, of accidents anymore is distraction due to phones and cell phones and whatnot. So it's a lot of people just being run over because the person received a phone call, looked down, and the car swerved a little too far over, and somebody just happened to be there. So they run them over, and that's happening all the time now. Car accidents left, right, and center between each other. Car accidents with pedestrians, car accidents with bicycles, and now, of course, we got the scooters and the single wheels that you see whipping down the road, which is just, it's just gotten that much more dangerous. But what can you do? So this is more for those people that want to stay safe. Yeah, a lot of younger people don't really want to. They want to go out there and take those risks. They got those scooters going and stuff. But I'll tell you, for the longest time now, I try to stay completely on the sidewalk. And when it comes to going downtown Toronto, I would prefer to leave the bike and just take the subway because it's just too dangerous. Even on the bicycle lanes that they've got picked for people, they're not safe at all. The cars go right on them. There's distractions. People are getting hit all the time downtown on bicycles, so it's not that safe. I kind of look at it this way. It's training. It's training yourself. So if you were to train yourself every day that everywhere you went, that somebody was trying to catch you in a mistake, and if you get caught, then it's a one-time deal. It's over. The game's over. And if you win, I don't know, give yourself a whole bunch of money or something in your mind. I don't know. But the best thing to do is to walk and ride defensively. That every single corner is a corner that's been geared and set you up for to make you fail, you know, that sort of thing. But no offense, I find people less and less aware all the time, whether they're riding a bicycle, walking down the street with headphones or even without headphones. You just find a lot of people just seem to be in a cloud. They'll be standing there in the middle of a sidewalk, just blocking the entire lane, not even recognizing. Then people will have to stop and say, you know, "Excuse me." They'll go, "Oh, sorry," you know, or they'll walk right in the middle of the sidewalk, and nobody can get around them, and that type of thing, you know. And they're not even aware of it. So a lot of people are thinking, you know, that's how we spend a lot of our days, thinking, and not even awake. And that's another thing to take in consideration when you're riding a bike. Often when you're riding, you're not actually awake. You're going through a lot of motions that do not leave you very aware of what's going on around you. I guarantee if every person was to stop at every single corner, even if it was a walk sign, and actually took the time to look around and assess behind them and to the left who's coming from behind and who's going to turn on them and turn over on top of them, or, you know, what's going on around them. Is there a truck backing up? Like another dangerous spot is you hear a lot of people getting hit in parking lots and people back up. So that is a time when you have to be ultra aware in parking lots, actually, because people do, you know, back up fast. Some of them and may not see you, and run right into you or over you. I think it has to be active participation, actively being aware of what's around you at all times, and getting into that frame of mind, getting into that habit. It has to become a habit. I know a couple people, I won't mention them, but I know a couple people that I'm fairly close to that walk right into traffic still, that will just walk right into traffic. Or if they see a light is going to change and they have to run, they want to make the walk sign, and we're walking as pedestrians, and they see the light's going to change, they just run right into the street to make it to run across, not even looking behind and to the left to see if somebody's coming up to make that turn and may not have seen the person, you know. Which happens so often. It's probably a daily occurrence. So yeah, I think a lot of people would disagree with me. I think bicycles should be on the sidewalks when and at all possible. I don't think they should even be downtown anymore. There's just too many distractions, too dangerous. It's just dangerous enough watching people walk and run into traffic all the time. They're just taking too many risks. And we always think of ourselves as smart pedestrian walkers or good cyclists. We don't like to think of ourselves as, not that good, or, potentially causing potential accidents all the time. And this happens all the times on bicycles, probably every day, multiple times if you're on the road. If you're on the road on a bicycle and you look behind you for any reason, your bicycle at that moment probably has swayed on the road 6 to 12 inches just from looking behind you. And that could be 6 to 12 inches into traffic, and that may be all it takes. Maybe all you need is 4 inches to touch the next car that's coming up from behind you, and it's over. So, I mean, bicycles are dangerous to begin with, to be on the road. They always were, and I can say that. I'm a cyclist. I don't even drive. So, yeah, and I can clearly say bicycles are dangerous on the road, for sure. So, the next time you're out, you really need to challenge yourself all the time. Try to become more and more aware. Did I look behind and to the left at this before crossing the street? Did I look behind and to the left? Did I walk in front of a parked trailer, not realizing there was something else, coming behind it? Did I just walk out, not realizing that another car was backing out just on the other side that I couldn't see? Every corner is a place that you need to stop. Every single corner, every single obstacle requires that you kind of stop and peek around now, because people are just too distracted and people are on the go too much, and they're just stepping on the pedal and going. And if you're in the way, you're in the way. That's why you're seeing so many people die now by getting hit by vehicles all the time, by absent-mindedness and forgetfulness, and absent-mindedness and distraction from cell phones and being on the phone. Like, everything's a distraction. They just walk around bouncing off things, quite literally. So the idea is to stop that. So if you might want to take your loved ones out there, your kids especially, make sure that they're fine-tuned for today's society, because the road safety you got when I was a kid, I don't know if they're teaching the same thing today. When you don't go until it says walk. You don't go when it says walk. You actually still have to stop and look behind and to the left, because people aren't really seeing you anymore, and they're just coming around that corner and they just run you right over. We now interrupt our program for an emergency news bulletin. This is breaking news. Breaking news. We now return to our regularly scheduled program, and today we're talking about bike safety and pedestrian safety. And I truly believe, that new training has to be given to men, women, children. New awareness has to come out, big awareness to get people to reassess while they're walking, to become more aware while they're walking. Because it is distraction and allowing your mind to wander in all sorts of things, or answering the phone, having headphones on, not being able to hear cars. There's a lot of things contributing to a lot of people being hit by cars these days. And it's not always the car's fault. As I said, we're finding people walking right into traffic, just right out into traffic. So basically, if you're out with someone, friends and stuff, watch how they're walking. Really watch how dangerous people have become. You'll be surprised at how many people just see a walk sign and just walk right out into the road, not even hesitating to look to their left or behind them to see which car is coming to end their life any second. Because you can only walk into traffic so many times until your number's up. And that's my point of this whole thing, is that people walking into traffic like that, well, they can't continue to do that, because you can only do that so many times. But in this segment, I just want to concentrate on pedestrians and cyclists and crossing the streets. It is amazing why cyclists are even on the road at all when there's an empty sidewalk is beyond me. Because people are, and there's some cars now who are deliberately running over cyclists. There's probably people waiting for me to mention that, so I'll mention that now. Yes, there has been people out there, more than one. They've been caught on dash cams. They're turning right into cyclists. And cyclists, if you got an ear up, this is one of the things that's very dangerous for you is this, and this is what makes it dangerous. If a car is out to get you and there's no one really around and they take you out because you're on the road or whatever with them at the shoulder, even if you're on the side of the road, they swerve over, they take you out. They can say that you swerved into them, and it's very hard. And if they don't have a dash cam, there's no proof. You don't have a cam. Nobody's got any pictures of it. You're kind of done. They'll probably give the benefit of the doubt to the driver because bicycles do swerve in front of people all day long. I ride a bicycle myself, and swerving is just par for the course of owning and riding a bicycle. You're always swerving a little bit, a few inches, and sometimes that's all it takes. So my point is, get to the sidewalk if at all possible. If you're in the back street, stick to the back streets, use the sidewalk that nobody's on, and go nice and slow and take your time, and you will live. Other people, well, it's your risk. So I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I look on the street, I see a cyclist riding, I see how they're riding, and to me it's like, well, dead person riding. I see a lot of pedestrians and how they walk and how they run in front of vehicles all the time just as a habit, not even realizing they're doing it. And that, to me, is, sometimes I'll say it, dead man walking. I was in Hamilton not too long ago, and I saw they've got the scooters and these single wheels that you stand on with these handles, and they really move. So, I mean, there's all kinds of dangers out there. They're on the roads, too. They're going like 40 miles an hour, too. So I've seen a few of them in the trauma room already. So it's a dangerous time out there. And if you want to stay alive, the thing to do is to go out and test yourself and then watch other people. And you'll see just how dangerous things have become, just out of slackness maybe over the years. But there's a lot of people who think that a walk sign just means you walk right into traffic. Take a look. When someone suffers from an ailment, it is impossible for others who know them, even family, to understand what that person is going through and what it's like to suffer from their particular ailment. I myself suffer from a particular ailment, which I'll discuss today. I had a call earlier from some friends who absentmindedly invited me to join them for a trip to the United States. I have always lived in Canada, born and raised Canada, have never been outside of Canada. I can travel freely from the east coast to the west coast of Canada without problem. I can travel in and out of any province without problem. But I cannot cross a border, like say from the border from Canada to the United States. I cannot cross a border by boat into another country or any other country. I cannot cross any border by plane into any country. I have to remain in Canada. I simply cannot cross any border into another country whatsoever. No border whatsoever. Now, there may be some people listening now that suffer from the same thing I do, which the technical term is borderline personality disorder. And what this means is, while I can cross a border into another country, I just don't know who I'm going to be when I step over to the other side. And there's no guarantee that I'll revert back to my original personality and be able to find my way back to my home country. A very frightening concept which runs along the lines of Alzheimer's or amnesia. To give the audience an idea of what it's like to suffer from borderline personality disorder, I'm going to play for you an audio tape of someone who does suffer from borderline personality disorder attempting to cross from Canada over to the United States, and you'll see for yourself what can happen.
Okay, I'm stepping over.
Let's wind the clocks back a year. These cops and lawyers wouldn't dare cross any of you. What happened? Did your balls drop off? All right, so listen, why don't you give me a call when you start taking things a little more seriously? Why so serious?
Am I back?